in life.
Hey guys, Gabe here, Big Man Comics Live. I'm still working on a Tyrus page because I'm actually working on some other stuff. So this is picking up from the same page yesterday. I hope you're all doing great. It is Tuesday, the 8th of July. Guys, we're 2 weeks away, right? 2 weeks away, basically, from Comic-Con. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have a great time. I had a really good morning. I took my truck into the dealer. I know you're not supposed to go to the dealer to get repaired, but it was a recall on some transmission thing. They got to put some new software. So, but it was good because I was then able to go out to breakfast with my wife and big baby. It's a good time. Big baby is very active, very busy. Hold on, let me have a sip of this. But hit the like, hit the share, comment in. Guys, so many exciting things are happening. We are getting the campaign page ready for the crowdfund for Empyrean Earth Illuminated. Do you have a copy of it right there to your left on top of the picture?
Yep.
This is the 120-page epic sci-fi graphic novel. If you love the 70s and 80s Star Wars, I brought it back for you, baby. It's right here. It's done. That's one thing you can rest assured and be glad. This thing is done. These are proof copies. I printed up a few proof copies, got them to some friends and some influencers to get them to review it, and to make sure one last time there weren't any errors in it or anything like that. And but we're printing up a couple thousand copies so we can hit the ground running on the pre-order campaign, and then we'll adjust for the final print run about halfway through or three-quarters of the way through the campaign. So that campaign is going to start September. It's going to start July 24th, my birthday, at Comic-Con, and it's going to run through, I think, September 22nd. I think that's 60 days. We're going to have fun stuff on there. We're going to have, I commissioned just a minute ago, a poster, T-shirt, and, of course, this book. There's a second cover. There's a third and a fourth cover with no logo or anything, just an artist edition, pure, beautiful artwork on there. We're going to have different packages you can get. And so when you crowdfund this, you can rest easy knowing this thing is done and ready to get into your hands very soon after September 22nd when the campaign ends. If you're coming by Comic-Con, there's I guess we'll have a Comic-Con edition of this, I guess we would note it. We were thinking of, I don't know, you guys tell me what you think, of getting like some stickers printed up to put on the bag and the board to say, hey, this was got at Comic-Con 2025, and you can't get that anywhere else. I don't want to put the sticker on the actual book because I feel like that defaces the book. And plus, if I'm putting stickers on a book by hand, then it's like it's crooked and weird. I don't want to do something like that. So you guys let me know what you think of things like that. But yeah, we're having fun. I'm very excited about this. You're going to love this. It's an epic. It's one of the best things I've ever written. Writers that I really respect their high level of skill, decades and decades of mastery in writing. Mike Barron, Tony Daniel, they said they love it. They've read it and they said they're blown away. Mike Barron said he was so impressed. So I'm really glad that the notes and the concepts they gave to me on what they loved about it were things I didn't tell them before they read it, and I'm very happy they picked up what I was laying down. So Empyrean Earth Illuminated, that is coming July 24th. So I will get back to doodling, dropping my glasses on the floor, and then doodling away on this Tyrus book. You said there was a comment in the chat that was pretty serious, important, our kind of thing.
Yeah, Antonius 707 said, Gabe misses Ian chat. My mom's been in the hospital since Sunday. Please pray for her if you can. Thanks. Be well, all.
As I always say on this channel, it's community here. We have a great time. If you are the praying kind, then pray for Antonius's mom. We don't know what the problem is, but it doesn't matter. God does. So give a sincere prayer for her. We know prayers answered. We've had other people with prayers, and so please do that. His mother is something's not right, and we believe in the power of prayer. So if you're the praying kind, I would really appreciate praying for Antonius's mother.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, so aside from your truck, what's going on?
Had a good breakfast. Chorizo with eggs. That's always good. Chorizo is really gross if you look at what it's made of. A lot of saliva glands. Oh. Yeah, I think it's just like whatever's left over. Chunks of this and that and the other of the pigs. Typically pig. It can be beef chorizo, but it's tasty.
I hate hearing what it's made out of because that was like a childhood staple of mine.
Yeah, that's very, very Mexican.
And now it grosses.
Chorizo. Chorizo con huevos, chorizo con frijoles, chorizo con papas. Chorizo itself, it's sausage, but since it's made out of a lot of like glands and things like that, it's mostly just like fat. And when you fry it in a pan, there is no sausage in the pan. There's very little meat. It just kind of melts into grease. Slightly chunky grease. So by itself, a scoop of chorizo is not a great thing to eat because you're just eating a mouthful of grease, but it goes wonderfully inside of beans or potatoes or eggs. You mix it together, and then you got these like spicy eggs with a slight meaty texture. Very good though. But by itself, it can't stand alone. It's a team player, chorizo. So
Right. Although I used to eat it a little bit alone as a kid, but I feel like we had different chorizo when I was
here's what we found going to Tijuana for tacos is there's a meatier chorizo that's more like a sausage. You know, it has like more chunks of meat. What you find in the American Mexican grocery store seems to be a tube of grease. It's basically a tube of pork grease that's orange with a slight little bit of crumbled up meat in it somewhere. But yes, you are right. The Mexican chorizo we found. If you get a chorizo taco in Tijuana at one of those places, it's very meaty. It's like crumbled pork meat, you know. But the spice is amazing. The chili spice is really great on it. So, delicious break, but it's nice to go out to a breakfast. And it's summertime. We saw a family, husband and wife in their 30s or 40s, two little boys, 9, 10 years old, and of course the grandparents in their 60s, 70s. It's a great thing to see. I have great memories of my grandparents. I grew up here in San Diego. I'm from Colorado. My grandparents stayed in Colorado because that's where they're from, basically. And but it was really nice when they'd come out and visit. We go to Disneyland and go out to eat and just do different things with them. And in the summers, I would go to Colorado and stay in their house and visit them. So I always like seeing the kids with the grandparents. It's nice.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know why, but it doesn't feel like summer to me yet. And then I think about the date and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're like halfway through summer.
Yeah, well, summer started actually summer started on June 20th, so we're only like 2-3 weeks into summer. But I get your meaning. People have been out of school for a while, and schools, I think it was AC/DC or is it Black Sabbath or one of those 70s rock bands. School's out for summer. Is it Kiss? I don't know. They have that, or is it Alice Cooper? I think it's Alice Cooper. School's out for summer. You know, everyone's heard that song. So yeah, when school gets out in May or June, depending on where you live, yeah, that's summer. The day school ends is summer. When people find your yearbook and they say, stay cool. I want to let everyone know from Miss Pickford's 5th grade class, I did not, in fact, stay cool. I got much cooler. So sorry. I know you want me to just stay cool, but I got way cooler. So
yeah. What about circling boys and girls you like?
I didn't do that, but there was
girls
a girl.
Do that, and then
a girl who had the hots for me senior year. She asked me to go to prom. How often do girls ask you to go to prom?
Why didn't you go?
Because I had this ball and chain girlfriend that wouldn't let me go.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, sad for me. Yeah, but my girlfriend went out of town to like Mexico to like her dad's birthday or somewhere else. So I was home the prom weekend with nowhere to go. Should have went with the other girl.
You should have. Yeah. See how that ended. It would have changed your history. Or your future, rather.
Anyway, she wrote in my yearbook, let's hang out, here's my number, blah, 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 stay cool, whatever. But she also scribbled on this other girl's face who was really pretty, who I never talked to the other girl who was really pretty. I was in her drama class, but I think I quite literally never said one word to that girl the entire time. She must have hated that girl or something. But she like, drew big lips on her and stuff. It's a little weird. It's like, why would you do that? It's probably, you might be nuts.
Maybe.
You still don't like her 30-something years later,
huh? Why would I?
Why would you care though 30 years later?
I don't know. Women are weird. So we've been doing a lot of work coming into Comic-Con.
Right. A lot of preparation, getting everything ready to make that booth the best it can be.
Right. So if you're going to be in San Diego at the convention center, you got to stop by. Our booth is going to be beautiful. We made a few changes. We'll have a new banner, and we're excited.
Yeah, we're very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Because sometimes you go to a convention, you go to a booth, and it's just kind of like, what's this? There's not much to look at. But there's going to be I was talking to my pal, you may know of him, Tyrus, this morning. We're going to be talking some stuff about the Tyrus comic tomorrow. That book is, as you see right here, 107 pages, and whatever you would consider this, 25%. So 107.25 pages, almost complete of the illustration. I'll have this thing done before the end of the summer, I believe. I was talking to a colorist this morning about maybe coloring it. So, like I said, things fell through with the other colorist I had working on this. So I'm looking for a new colorist. I think I may have got myself one. So, because I want this one out before the end of the year too. No promises on that. I don't like to promise anything that I can't deliver. But if we can get the colorist, I don't see why we can't get this one out before the end of the year. I don't see why, but no promises. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. I definitely want to do Tyrus sequels because I really love this universe I've created here. And I look forward to hearing what he has to tell me tomorrow. We're supposed to have a chitty chat to figure out where we're going with this. Because I want everything for this. I want the action figures. I want the cartoon. I think an animated movie would be good, but also a real life one. If this Superman movie is good, and I'm not going to comment on it really until I see it. There's a lot of rumor going around, and I've seen the director and his brother were saying horrible things, but now today they're saying, you know what? The news guy that was interviewing was kind of baiting him into shit. So I'm going to be fair because I do think the truth is the truth, and that's all that matters. So I'm going to be fair and wait, and I'm going to go see it. And if it's woke shit, I'm going to say so. And if it's not, that could be good for superhero movies. Again, maybe this is a rebirth of superhero movies if this one is good. It is the original superhero. It's the most important, the biggest superhero, Superman. And if they get this right and they can kick things off, then it could be like Marvel and Iron Man all over again. Because the Marvel stuff, that's done.
Right.
Like, their last 6-7 movies, they're all failures. So, yeah, this is good. That's good. We need a good Superman. It's good when he's good and inspiring and blah, blah, blah. So we'll see.
Well, what would be good, and it would be good for all comic book movies, is if they actually made a good movie. Even if you don't like the story or like the character, but if it's well done.
Well, you have to like the story for it to be a good movie. You have to like a story.
That's true. I guess if you're just not a fan of the character, it's not, even on your radar. If it's a good movie, it'll help. And that's the thing about the Marvel movies being so bad, is they had the opportunity to keep it going because at the beginning, from what I understand, it was so good.
Yeah, but even then.
Yeah.
I don't think they were ever good. I just think they weren't woke at first.
That's true.
Like it was never a thing I liked.
But then there was your favorite movie, Miss Marvel.
The worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Unbelievable. Even though the star of that, Dakota Johnson, the girl, she shits all over that movie too.
She should fire her agent.
She should. What I was going to say about it, if the Superman movie is really good, that would bode well for a Tyrus movie, a live action one. Because if you want to do a live action Tyrus movie, you're talking $200 million, $150 million. That's huge studio stuff. But I think we've got something great here. I think it would be outstanding.
From the art that I've seen, I could definitely see action figures. Because when our son was young, we bought him all kinds of action figures. Like I don't know if you remember, like the King Kong toy set. We had a Spider-Man toy set
that he got from getting rich at Christmas time.
Right, that's right. But he had all kinds of comic book action figures, but everything that came out, and he would just sit there and play for hours. And I could see a Tyrus toy, Steinbeck toy, and the kids, playing with them. But I think it'd be fun. You have a couple questions. This question I really like. Agent Cub wants to know, who's the hottie with Gabe today?
And I'm the only one here. So now, voice you hear is actually an AI program that I've trained.
Oh yeah.
I went into Grok and I asked it to write me a non-annoying woman.
Oh, thanks. This is a great description.
Yeah, a woman that is not annoying and not dumb. Fairly intelligent.
What is the description you and Jericho had? She's almost.
Oh no! Don't you blame us. That was Jetty, one of his friends or something. I don't think it was Sean or me or Jericho. It was someone one of us knew that said she was like semi-hot.
Semi-hot.
They described their wife as semi-hot.
Yikes!
Now, not every woman is a great beauty. We all have to admit that. But there are people who can't admit that, and they're called women. women
Can't admit it.
delusional. Like, I don't have to say, I am the richest, most successful man in the world. I don't need to say that to feel good about myself. I am currently not the richest man in the world. I'm aware of that, and I'm okay with it. Tell a woman she's not the most beautiful woman in the world, and they freak out. It's so weird.
Every woman thinks that song. I think it was Prince that could you be the most beautiful
But
woman?
why? Like, this is just nonsense with women.
Because
But-
that's how we want to feel.
Right. With women, it's never about the truth. It's about how they feel. You know, so.
Hunch the Dirty Roofer.
Hey, I was thinking about you, Hunch. You gave me like 5 or 6 great book selections. I haven't seen you in ages. I don't know if you went to prison or what happened to you, but you're back.
He says, "How you been, Gabe?"
Yeah, man.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
No,
That's true. Where you been?
Yeah. Name I have, like Obi-Wan. That's a name I haven't heard all the time.
So how you been?
I hope he's doing good. He's roofing down there in Florida.
Ooh, in this weather.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
man.
was in Florida. Who knows where he is now?
I
Maybe
don't
they sent him
know.
to the prison in El Salvador.
Maybe he's on the Seminole Indian Reservation.
Ooh.
I thought that was interesting, that story. Yeah, I don't know how you could do roofing in Florida, but maybe you must acclimate to the weather there, because when we went to Florida, we went
It was mid-November.
yeah, so it was supposed to be great weather, which it was totally fine, except for one day we got a little bit of humidity. And from what I understand from everybody there, we only got a little bit of humidity, and it was awful.
Yeah, it was nasty.
You take a shower.
You get out, you feel worse.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So good luck in Florida, everyone.
Right.
I'm going to stay here in my 69-degree weather in mid-July. Thank you very much.
Which is funny because I feel like it's hot right now, and it's probably.
Oh, it's mild. Remember we went out to eat the other day, and I said, let's sit inside because it was too breezy.
Yes.
It's too cold. And that was in the afternoon. That was like 1 o'clock, and it was cold out.
Yeah. Weather's nice here. We're a bit spoiled.
Yep.
So in the news, I heard that Image Comics had some layoffs. Did you hear this?
No, that sucks.
Now, it was only 4 staff members, but I don't think Image has a large staff.
No.
Right?
I'm sure they don't have
So
a
that
large
would
staff.
seem pretty impactful.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. It's too bad. I had a good relationship with Image. I worked for the first stuff I had to publish like big time was Robert Kirkman's Invincible issue 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, something there. He let me do a pinup 20 years ago, I think. 18 years ago, I don't know. And I did 12 issues of Invincible Universe, which is like.
Wait, is Skybound also Image?
Yes, Skybound is Image.
Oh, okay.
Image will let creators do imprints there too. Like Mark Miller World, it's all at Dark Horse now. It used to be, I think it used to be an Image or something through Netflix. But some of the companies will let you do an imprint at their company. So yeah, Skybound is part of Image.
Okay.
Robert Kirkman got so successful with The Walking Dead Image starting back in 2004 that in 2008, 9, 10, 11, somewhere there, the early 2010s, they made him a partner. Remember, the original 7 Image founders, Will Portacio, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, Jim Valentino, Eric Larson, and I'm forgetting 1 or 2. They were the founders, the owners, blah, 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 of Image. That's it. They made Robert Kirkman a founder, owner.
Person. I think I remember you saying that.
And it was very smart of them because, with the success of The Walking Dead, he could write his own ticket and go anywhere he wants. And they're like, please stay here. Please stay here and do all of your stuff here.
Right.
I never got to know Robert Kirkman, but he paid me a very nice comment. When I was working on Invincible Universe, he said I was the best colorist he had ever hired.
Well, that is a nice
They were very nice to me. I did miss 1 issue of the 12-issue miniseries because I had to go to Colorado for a week or 2. Because my mom, she's fine now, had breast cancer like back in 14, 13. I don't know. It was over 10 years ago. So I quit working on the book, Invincible Universe. They got a fill-in colorist for 1 issue, 2 issues, I think 2 issues, and they let me take the time off work and gave me my job right back when I was done helping out my mom. So I always hold them in very high regard. Robert Kirkman, hands down, throws the best Comic-Con parties.
Yep.
They're so they're expensive. Like he rented a Weezer. He got Weezer to do a concert. He rented the whole top of the San Diego Padres baseball stadium one year. And he wouldn't just do the Saturday night awesome party like Weezer doing a concert. Like a full hour and something concert. It's awesome. And catered food, and I don't drink, but there was open bar from a tequila company. There was all this stuff. It was 2014. It was the 10th anniversary of The Walking Dead. But not only that, Friday night he would host everyone at the Harbor House, which is a big restaurant near the convention center over there, and it was an open buffet, and it was delicious. So he would pay 2 nights of dinner and partying for everyone. He was very generous. It was really nice. And personally, I never talked to him much personally, but he was a nice guy the few times I talked to him. So I only have good things to say about him. And he's a creative powerhouse. He's putting out great stuff. I hear that he's taken over Ninja Turtles with Dan Mora, who might be the best new comic book artist in the last 5 years. Dan Mora's style is so beautiful and charming and fun, whimsical, childlike, yet super, super complex understanding of anatomy and all that. It's really just simplified, but yet not simple. Dan Mora's amazing. That's someone.
That sounds like a great team.
Yeah, so they're going to be doing Transformers, which Daniel Warren Johnson just did 24 issues on, and it was critically acclaimed. Daniel Warren Johnson was the guy that I love that was supposed to write the Superman book that I worked on before I left DC Comics. So yeah, that Kirkland's doing a great job. Good guys. Sean Makowitz.
Yeah.
One of the friendliest guys. Where he was editor. He was my Green Lantern editor, but then he was my editor over there with Robert Kirkman. And then Sean Kirkham is one of the big I think he's an operations manager for Skybound. These are all good people over there. Never had any bad interactions with anyone at Skybound. So it was great place to work.
Yeah, they were very nice and good to us. Now, with the laying off of the people at Image, I know in the past couple of years there's been a lot of layoffs at DC and Marvel, and I think Aftershock went remote or something I don't know. There was some stuff like that.
Sucks.
Do you think it's just another sign that the industry is shrinking?
No, I think I'm not sure what it is. I heard recently. Well, it was 2 men. So I mean, this is anecdotal. 2 guys who are comic book store owners were on Mark Miller's podcast last week or the week before. I think Eric July was last week. This must have been the week before. And they said 2 guys. Now keep that in mind. I believe they said sales were up a little bit. They haven't seen sales like this in a while. And I want the Superman movie to do really good. I want comic book magazines, trade paperbacks to come back, to do good. And I think Superman is the right character to do that. If he is right, if that movie is right, it can push this stuff back into our culture in the right way. Not in the Marvel crass way, but in these books need to do good, man. It's an original American art form. It's a thing of beauty.
Right.
So I don't want the industry to just keep shrinking forever. It's terrible.
Yeah, I couldn't see. Well, I don't know.
Top Gun Maverick will tell you all you need to know. If you build it, they will come. And by it, I mean quality. If you build quality comic books that are just non-woke, you don't want to be hectored. You don't want to be lectured and harangued by the artists. Geez, fuck, you don't want that. Right. And I don't come into a restaurant to have the chef and the waiter berate me about my life choices. I'm there for a succulent Chinese meal. And when you open my comics and anyone else's, you're there to be entertained. That's it. You don't really give a shit what my opinion is of the way you live your life. Why should I do that to you?
Yeah.
I want to contribute to your life. I don't want to take away from it and make you feel bad. Why do you want to be around someone criticizing you? Whether it's true or not, I mean, let's even bring that out into the open. Let's say the criticisms are true. I still don't need that from the author of, whatever superhero I'm trying to read. That's not why I'm reading the book.
Right.
I'm reading it.
Trying to be entertained.
I'm reading it to be entertained. That's it. If I get inspired and some other great things happen, that's awesome. I'm not even reading it to be inspired. I am reading it to be entertained. So as a person on the other end of that transaction, I need to understand, as Mike Grant says, the first goal is to entertain. I want to inspire you. I want to give you positive messages, help you to think about how to live a better life so your life can be better and you can be happier, not so I can lecture you, not so I can school mom you and treat you like I'm your nanny, your little babies. To me, any advice or inspiration in my books is a gift to you from me to make your life better, but not haranguing you, not calling you a piece of crap and shaming you and all this weird stuff. Never. I don't want to do that. So if Marvel and DC can just get away from that stuff, the lecturing,
and stick to
and
comics,
just make it thrilling. The stuff was thrilling for decades. Like, you have the recipe, just do it.
yeah. People are looking for entertainment, and it's all you have to do is hand it to them,
Right.
and they can't seem to do that.
Right.
Now, so along with that, so I'm just kind of asking about the industry right now. I know there's been an ongoing dispute between Dynamite and Diamond.
I don't know about this exactly. I only read a headline. Who knows? Headlines can be sensational. Diamond Comic Distributors, basically the only distributor in town. Not really
The monopoly.
Well, we don't want to make accusations. Monopoly's already legal. So I'm not going to accuse them of anything to do. But they're basically the only game in town, and they declared bankruptcy. And I guess they owe, you boys sure drank a lot of beer. You owe me a lot of money. That's from the Blues Brothers. Diamond apparently owes people some moolah, and it's really affecting Dynamite Comics in a bad way. That's the extent of my knowledge. That I don't know anything else about this story. So you tell me.
Well, it says that they owe over $1 million, and it's impacting the payroll. But this is something where I don't know anything about it. Why would I thought Diamond was the distributor? So if I take it, at least just thinking of financials, that Dynamite is collecting all the money, then pays out the companies rather than the companies collecting money and then paying to have it distributed.
Well, for them to owe people money, then that would mean they were taking money on behalf of them.
Right.
So kind of, not consignment, but whatever the sort of equivalent is. So I print up a bunch of my comics, I ship them to Diamond.
Yeah.
Diamond ships them to comic stores, gets paid, and then pays me my part. That's how it looks. That's how someone would owe me money.
That's
so
all I can.
That's
that's all I can.
And it isn't sweet.
Surmise.
Allegedly, I don't know.
Well, it's very. I mean, I could see Dynamite or any other company that was owed money. You're impacting their operations by not paying them the money that they made actually with developing the comic book.
Well, I mean, are you going to be the middleman, sell their comics, collect the money, and then declare bankruptcy? Are you kidding me?
Oh, did they declare bankruptcy?
Yeah, they declared bankruptcy. So
oh,
my check was bankruptcy. So is it a situation? Now, I'm not a tax guy. I'm not a payroll guy. I'm not a bankruptcy guy. When they declare bankruptcy, does that mean they never have to pay this now?
I don't.
Right to not pay it and then carry on their regular business.
Well, what I know about bankruptcies, there are some things obviously that are included and some are not, but I don't know, like in a situation like this, how you could be taking someone else's money because essentially it was never theirs and not have to give it back.
Seems insane. Yeah, that doesn't
Right.
seem like the kind of thing that the bankruptcy court should forgive that. Like, oh no, by all means, keep it. What? Now, you're not going to get blood out of a stone. If they don't have the money, they don't have it. Period.
Right.
So, and again, I don't know how the different kinds of bankruptcy works. Just some of the bankers are like, okay, you got to sell your cars and sell your warehouse and sell your forklift and then
Right.
pay dynamite. Is that how that works? I think that's how
Some of those
works.
I think is if they're going to go out of, like if they're going to shut their doors down, anything they sell goes to their, is it debtor? Not debtors. Would
I
it
think
be
it's debtors.
debtors?
Yeah, debtors are the people you own, right? Creditors. No, creditor is someone who would say it doesn't matter. Whatever they're called, the people you owe money to. So I don't know the law on this. I know that what I read is they owe them a lot of money, and now Dynamite can't make payroll. And you think as a freelancer, a lot of times freelancers live check to check.
Right.
Well, if I'm freelancing for Dynamite and I've done all this time-consuming work, and it's just the work I did, it's the opportunity cost. If I do X assignment for Dynamite, then I can't do B for Dark Horse because, hey, I'm too busy. And then you're going to do the work, and then they can't pay you. They can't pay their office staff. Is that what's going on? That is horrific if that's what's going on.
It doesn't
And I'm
seem,
not saying
it
it's going
doesn't
on
seem,
because
yeah.
I don't know.
We're
what's going on.
speculating here.
Well, they don't have money. So if they don't have money, then do they not have money for anyone? Then what do? Do you prioritize your freelancers because you don't want to burn those bridges and then not pay your office staff, but now you're burning that bridge? Like, what do?
I'm not sure.
I think you get a big attorney and you tell them, hey, Diamond, you better pay me. You better hurry up and pay me.
Because then can you, so I guess what they can do is start putting liens or do civil.
Yeah, but lien ain't going to pay something.
No,
next week.
not until it's
This
sold
kind of
or
stuff can be
whatever.
in court for months or years.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah.
And freelancers got rent due in 3 weeks at the beginning of August.
I don't know what you
So
do at
that's-
that point.
It sounds like a freaking disaster.
Yeah. It sounds terrible.
Yeah, sorry to everyone out there. And people think because I left DC over their woke and stuff, like I hate. People don't think this. Why did I say that? No one's ever told me this. I wonder if people think I hate the mainstream. I don't. I love comic books. It's why I make them.
Yeah, and
But it's like, oh, you left DC, so what? You hate all the companies, all the freelancers? No, not at all. I want it all to be good. I want it all
right.
to be good for
You
everyone.
want your industry to be thriving.
Well, I want it to be good just because I like this stuff, and I want there to be stuff to buy. And yes, there are other reasons I want to be thriving for personal reasons. But yeah, I want my business to go well, and a high tide raises all ships.
Right.
That's a fact. But just culturally, I just want it to be good because it matters if it's good culturally. That does matter. So.
Yeah, I think that's crazy, and it really is unfortunate, and I do feel when you start looking at it in a more like humane way, that the people that are being affected with their payroll and their freelance pay.
It's horrible.
Yeah, these are people who can't pay their rent, can't buy groceries, like, need to borrow money for gas or whatever. And that's just a horrible place to be in, for people to actually have people owe you money. It's not because of anything you did wrong.
Right. That's terrible. And, unlike woke people, I don't want them, even woke people, to lose their jobs and their apartment and all that, have to move over with their parents. I want them to stop being woke and making shitty woke comics and movies. But I don't need them to lose their job. If they'll just stop being woke and stay and work. If you're good.
Yeah.
If you're no good, you need to go get better.
Well,
if you're good at this, then yes, we want you to do it, but we want you to stop being woke dumb.
Yeah.
Nobody likes this stuff. It's proven. Nobody likes it. That's not up for debate anymore.
So we have a comment on this dynamite stuff, and then you have a question. Agent Cup said, and this is, I think they're just alleging or thinking dynamite.
Everything here is alleged. Well, we got to be careful.
That's why I said that.
And not because I'm worried about being sued. I don't want to cause problems and say things that I don't know. So this is all alleged.
Right. So he says Dynamite should have bailed when Diamond filed for bankruptcy. But because Nick was loyal to Steve, I assume these are people at both
Nick
these.
Berrucci, the head of Dynamite, and Steve Geppy, I don't know how to say it, the head of Dynamite.
Okay. Dynamite stayed hoping Diamond would turn it around, but they couldn't. So, and I don't know if that's true, but I can understand if they were friends, that they're trying to keep it afloat, and probably neither of them wanted it to go south, Then you have a question from Antoine Haynes. He's
Antoine, he's the guy that interviewed me up in Escondido, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I met him. I
You
think
come to the party? It's Saturday the 26th at Urban in North Park.
So he says, are you going to be at SDCC?
Yeah, we're gonna have a big old booth. Come on by. We're gonna have a great time. Might have some guests there that you'll like.
Right.
Yeah, more announcements coming very soon.
And you'll have your book is going to be released.
Yeah, in period, the 120-page graphic novel. And I'm going to have some Tyrus preview comics there that you can only get at Comic Con. San Diego Comic Con preview edition. Or can you only get it at Comic Con? Maybe I'll put them in the campaign if there's any left over.
And we can, I think we're going to be putting stickers on some things that say it's a Comic Con exclusive. So,
well, yeah, we'll look into that.
Yeah. So if you're at San Diego Comic Con, Antoine, stop by and say hi.
And come to the
and
party.
come to the party. Yeah.
Yeah, the party. We haven't put the info out officially, but I plan on doing that today.
Yeah, we've got an Eventbrite set up. We were just looking at the last few details, and it's going to be Gabe, Nerdrotic, and Chris and Alan from Film Threat will be there to hang out with everybody.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Agent Cub wants to know, is Dean Cain going to be at your booth?
He is not going to be there. He will be in Las Vegas, Nevada, filming his new movie that he's writing and directing, Holy One, starring Kevin Sorbo of Hercules fame. And I don't know. I'm sure Dean is in the movie somewhere. I don't know if Dean's in or not. I'm assuming he's in it.
I think he is. I think it's going to be like
I already talked to Dean, and yeah, that's right during filming for him. So he will not be there.
I'm excited about that movie, actually, because I was really impressed with his Little Angels movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was well written. It was wholesome, and it was entertaining.
Yeah. Little Angels was good. We went to the premiere of that last month.
Agent Cub said, make sure you take pictures of your booth. I think they want you to put it online so they could see what you have.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We're hoping this year actually to right after Comic-Con to put like a recap.
Yeah, before, during, and after. Like I'm gonna try and stream from the booth, but you're streaming from your AT&T cell phone, so we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely record stuff and post it. If we can't stream, we'll try and do both during the show the whole time. But it's your world, guys. It's interactive for you. It's all about entertaining you, letting you have a great time. Life is tough enough. You work your 9 to 5. You want to come home and see something relaxing. You want to go on your lunch break and flip through your phone real quick and hopefully have a fun video or some cool new art or something like that. So, we got that in mind. We know what you want. We know what you need, and we can deliver. So, yeah, we're going to make it fun. I love Comic-Con. You can ask my wife. I get very excited about it every year. It's such a big deal to me, and I always want to make it bigger and better than ever. That's why I created the party, just for fun, just to hang out with fans and colleagues of mine and all that. So.
Yeah, and if you're not going to be at Comic-Con, you can still come to the party. Last year, we had quite a few people stop by that just traveled to San Diego to come to the meetup. They wanted to meet Gabe. They wanted to meet Nerdrotic, Quarter Black Garrett, the guys from Film Threat, and
Side Scrollers. They were there.
Side Scrollers, yeah. And I think a lot of the fans that are attendees of the meetup, they also know each other just from being in the chat. And so, they go there to meet their friends in person. But it's really neat. It's a lot of fun, just talking to everybody, seeing where everybody came from, and just to hear their story. A lot of them are just so pumped by what's going on and the fight, the pop culture war fight.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good fight, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get the video out today telling people the party is coming.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty much set up. We're just working on the last details. So what else is going on? What are you working on right now? What page?
This is page 108 out of 125 of the Unstoppable Tyrus. The evil Falcon Zelix is skulking around this temple, and our good friend Steinbeck the orangutan is hiding behind some rubble. He's not one to be seen by this guy because this dude's a bad dude. He's the kind of guy that's cruel for the sake of being cruel. He really enjoys it. So.
Yeah.
But, when I name these characters and create them, I use a lot of I do research. I'll do historical research. I'll do. But Zelex is a local Native American word for a hawk. So the Kumeyaay Indian, which were the San Diego Indians, for thousands of years here, I guess, before the colonizers showed up.
Okay.
Their word for a hawk is Zelex. So that's where he got his name.
I like the name Kumeyaay. I like a lot of the Indian names. I think they're very unique.
Remember, I wanted to go see that Kumeyaay village. So near where I live, there's like a trail in a canyon, and there's a little river. And if you drive up to it, you can go hiking and all this. And then they have like rebuilt a few. They didn't live in teepees, but they were like little stick shacks and stuff. And
Little
I think there's a little
kind of
hut. There's like a fireplace. There's a couple things, and you can go look at it. And there's a trail. And I drove with my wife to go see it because I'm fascinated with California history. Guys, I just wrote a book yesterday, a premise, like a 500-word premise of a book, all about California history and mystery. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. Editor loves the concept, by the way. But anyway, we drove to this Kumeyaay area where they used to live and all that. And I wanted to go see it with my wife. And we get there, there's construction stuff and a fence. And it closed until the end of October. And it closed the day before we went there. So this thing's been open for, 30, 40 years. And I find it on the internet, like, oh, I want to go check this out. And I go there and they closed it 24 hours before I got there for 9 months. So there you go.
You got a super chat.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. Very generous of you. What does it say?
It's from Joe's Atmosphere for $4.99. He says, "Great work, man," with lots of exclamation points.
Thank you.
Watching great artists always inspires me. Keep on keeping on, brother.
Oh, thank you. You guys inspire me. I really appreciate it. And whenever you send a super chat, you unlock the Belgian buns. None other than Van Damme shakes it for you for the money.
You ready?
That's what the setup was for.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your.
Yes. That's why I said all that. So yeah, if anyone else wants to see the Belgian buns, throw some money on the stage, guy.
Right. Michael Hart says, "I think the Absolute line is selling quite well for DC." Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about it really. I know they kind of relaunched some books with some new takes and some great artists and writers. If it's selling good, that's a good thing. If it's selling good, that means it probably isn't too woke. I know Nick Dragata. A lot of people talk shit about his art. I love his art, and I will always defend him. He's really wacky out there, totally unusual style. I think he's really good. And he did that East of West book that I just adore. I think East of West is one of the best comics to come out in ages. And he started off drawing the new Absolute Batman. I forgot who wrote it. I don't know if it was Scott Snyder or Tom King. But I saw the preview art, and people were shitting all over it. And you know what? You don't have any taste. Nick Dragota is an amazing illustrator. So take that. And a nice guy. In 2011, I sat next to him at Wizard World Los Angeles.
I don't recall who he is. But I do know the East and West books are good.
Really good.
Joe's Atmosphere, who sent you the super chat, he said, "Not Van Damme, please, no more."
Oh, it's never going to stop with Van Damme. Van Damme is one of my absolute heroes. But you got to understand, when I was 12 or 13, I discovered kickboxer and blood sport, and that'll change your life. That'll set you on a direction for the rest of your life. He can do no wrong in my eyes. He's the muscles from Brussels.
Right. I can see that he's handsome, but my sister was absolutely head over heels in love with that man. And I would look at him and I'd say, "Well, he's handsome," but she would just like salivate. But
Well,
I always thought that was
so many
funny.
men look like a tub of goo.
Yeah, but this was, 30 years ago.
That is true. Not men didn't all look like
They didn't look
there
like
weren't
that
so
back
many
then.
fat people back then. No, he looked great. He's got great genetics to be an athlete and a bodybuilder and all that.
Yeah. But as a little sister, I would say, "Oh, he's so cute too." And then when I got older, I was like, "I don't have a crush on Van Damme. Like, what am I talking about?" That was her. But I was the
You were
youngest.
just trying to be supportive.
I was the youngest of four. So whoever they said was cute, I would say was cute.
You want to hear what actresses I think are super hot right now?
Sure. Sydney Sweeney,
No, everyone likes her. She's fine. To me, she's fine.
Cindy Crawford.
To me, Cindy Crawford, she was the ultimate, but
She's
everyone-
still very beautiful.
sure for her age.
Oh, let her down gently.
I could have had her if I wanted. You were lucky. You beat her out by a nose, literally.
By a nose.
Yeah.
Wow. Joe's Atmosphere says they are good movies. My favorite he did was Time Cop. Not a huge fan of him. More of a Bruce Lee and Arnold guy.
I love them all. I love them all.
And Agent Cub says Van Damme was in the background in the movie Breaking It.
Breaking
It. Yeah. Okay, I said it right. I thought I missed it.
Yeah, he was a guy in a black leotard dancing at this break dancing thing. Yes.
I do remember that.
Yeah, it's like a famous GIF that people put on.
Exactly right. Yeah. I think everybody loved Arnold growing up just because he was so unique.
People just got mad at him during the lockdown because like, screw your freedom.
Yeah, that made me not like him.
He probably wants to have that one back.
I mean, even when he was the governor of California, everyone thought it was kind of cool because it was Arnold.
Yeah.
But yeah, him saying that, I think he lost a lot of fans. Not of his movies, but just of him in general.
Yeah. I do think the thing about his love child is pretty crazy.
That's the one that looks like him?
Yeah, it looks most like him, the love child.
That would upset me very much as a mother and wife.
If I had a love child that was better than the son we had.
Yeah. No one's better than my son.
Oh, well.
No love child. Agent Cub said he just found that out yesterday that he was in the background of that movie. That's kind of funny. What else is going on?
Not a lot, just a lot of work. I can't wait to. It's kind of funny. We work on these things, we anticipate all this, and then it's kind of over in a flash. I always feel that way about Comic-Con, like, oh man, it's so far away, and then it feels like it's always just coming up for me to work on to get all this stuff done.
Right.
And I always tell myself to get stuff done ahead of time, so I'm not rushing deadlines at Comic-Con. Yet every year I'm calling printers and working on this and working on that, trying to get things done right before the show.
Well, I think a lot of things can't be done until right before the show. So even though we prepared, we made a calendar, I don't know, life happens and some of it is just not quite ready.
Yeah.
How do you feel about, so I told you yesterday that some of the major studios were skipping the convention this year. How does that make you feel as your company grows and you're trying to make a bigger imprint at the convention every year while these giant companies are pulling back?
I never understood why they pull back. I think it's good PR and good advertising for them. I know it's a huge commitment of money.
It is.
It's going to be in the millions for them to be there the way they are. So that's it. Money's the boss. That's how it works. And I don't know. I guess I see why they pull back because I think they look at it this way: like their Marvel movie's going to make money no matter what. So why spend $2 million more going to Comic-Con if they're still going to just have a good enough box office and make a profit? That's $2 million more for me, the shareholder, the boss, the chairman, whatever, that I don't spend on Comic-Con. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of a way to look at it.
Yeah, I think that is true, but I feel like the impact they have, like that, it's a part of their advertising budget. It was what it would be, and the imprint, the video footage, the screaming fans in Hall H, all of that is PR for them and images they can use.
Yeah, I think they must have some bean counter somewhere that tells you know what, you can take that $2 million and put it in this other place, and you're going to get
in your pocket.
You're going to get more return. If it's all budget, then you're going to spend it no matter what, and they must have other places that get a higher ROI.
Yeah, that's the bad thing is sometimes like in accounting the money instead of like goodwill towards your fans, which I think actually is investing in the future of your company.
For sure.
They're using it for something else based off of like, oh, well, you know, we found that we only make this amount of money, but they're not accounting for future
Well,
sales, future loyalty.
That's why I never want to take this company public. You know, one of the big companies in America is In-N-Out Burger. It's owned by one woman.
Right.
That what's her name? Snyder owns it, and she does what she thinks is right. And like, for instance, for me, my books are printed in the USA. I could save money printing these in Hong Kong. I got a Hong Kong printer come to me at Comic Con last year. She sent me quotes. It was way lower.
Right. I
I can
remember
print
that.
a lot more books. I can get foil on the covers. I can get all this stuff. Half the price, 75% of the price. When I do all the bells and whistles, way more copies.
We
of
had
books.
to go to China.
But it matters to me to spend more money to do it here. I can't be truth, justice, and the American way and then print my shit in Hong Kong. That's not having integrity as a human being. So yes, I would rather lose my own money, more of it, spend it on this for you guys to show you that I mean what I'm saying. You know, like it isn't just. I mean, the point of a business is to make a profit. Because if you don't make a profit, you can't.
You
be in
can't
business.
continue, right?
You know, so yes, I love money for my family, for what I need it for. It's a great tool, but it doesn't make every decision for me. It makes decisions as far as if I do this, I can stay in business, but I'm not like, oh, I'm going to screw people over or screw my country over or whatever to make a few more bucks. I'm not. I don't think that way. I'm not going to think that way. So, you know,
Right. So you have a hello. Diesel says, "Hola, guys."
hey, you come to the party, Diesel?
Yeah,
Or you're
Diesel.
afraid 'cause you're a
Yeah,
Raider
Diesel.
fan?
Are you coming to the
I think
party?
Diesel's afraid to come to San Diego because he's a Raider fan.
He also says, oh shoot, hold on. Oh, he
He knows
said,
what can happen. from
he
Raiders.
said, In-N-Out sounds good. Let's go. I'm buying.
All right, let's do it.
But then he also said,
What do you think?
he's saying, Gabe, I subscribe to the OnlyFans.
Oh, you subscribe to my OnlyFans. I forgot to tell everyone I have that.
You have some other comments
All right,
here.
let's hear 'em.
Talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Joe's Atmosphere says he went totally based again. The girls on The View were
Oh, I
horrified
saw that.
about what he said about illegal immigrants. Remember, you're a guest here. You should act like it.
What?
That's what they told.
What? You should appreciate things people give you and bleed and die for. To give
But
you?
that comment was only for Arnold Schwarzenegger, not the illegal immigrants.
Oh.
About remember, you're a guest here.
Right.
And then he also, Joe's Atmosphere also has a question. He says, are you changing the thickness of the lines with pressure on the pad?
Yes, it works exactly like a real pencil or pen. Yes.
He said he's been learning Procreate on iPad.
If you go light, you get this little line. If I put, you see how that changes as I go? That's me applying pressure. So yes. Yes and yes. It's a very, very robust drawing engine, this program. It's better than anything. The closest thing to it is Clip Studio. Photoshop is good, but it doesn't come close to this as far as drawing. Photoshop is superior to Procreate in every other way, basically, but you can't beat Procreate's drawing. But Photoshop, I mean, there's basic things Photoshop can do that Procreate can't do. It's kind of silly, some of the stuff Procreate cannot do. So when it comes to drawing, there's nothing better than Procreate right now. I mean, there's nothing better than pen and paper. That's what I prefer. But we're trying to get this book done so we can have it to people for the holidays. So
is Procreate the one that's also like super affordable?
it's $10.
Yeah.
There's no monthly fee. There's nothing.
I love that.
Procreate is $9.99 in the Apple Store or the Google Store, and that's it. Well, I think it's available on Android. It must be on like those crappy tablets that people have that are not iPads. If you don't have an iPad, I don't know what you're doing. I don't even know what you're doing if you're using the other stuff. It's okay. Good luck. Buena suerte, friends.
In regards to you printing in the USA, Joe's Atmosphere said, preach, Gabe, America, F yeah.
It cost me more, believe me. The lady from Hong Kong came, and what a saleswoman she was too. She came up to me at my booth last year at Comic-Con. She said, blah, 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 blah. Comic said, "You're very handsome."
Yeah, she
But
did.
she had like super broken, English. She was very thick Chinese accent.
And she was like an not older woman. I guess
Like in her 50s,
she was
maybe
like my
50s.
age. Yeah, I'm not early 50s, but she was like my age, and she was like flirting with you
I
and
should
stuff.
have let her at least buy me a steak.
You should. That's what they do.
If she comes back this year, I'll feign interest, go to Morton's or Fleming's, get a giant steak, potato, and I want, if she likes me enough, I'll get the baked potato fully loaded.
It's funny we don't take advantage of stuff like that. I was talking to one of my friends, and she does like school lunches, but they go to conventions, so they have a bunch of vendors that are just trying to get their food inside the schools. She picks a vendor every night to go take her out to dinner, and she said sometimes two of them have the dinner on the same night, so she'll ask where they're going so that she can decide, and then her and her husband decide between the two of what they want to eat. And of course, they order whatever. Antoine Haynes, he's asking, since you worked with Eric July in the past, why don't you publish through Ripasend?
It's because I don't need to. You know what I mean? Like I got my own thing going. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think anyone that wants to do it should. I looked at it and all that, but
well, one thing
that I know I need to do is I need to build this business to stand on its own. I like having friends. I love that friends help me promote and this, that, and the other. But I think for the long haul, you need to go through the pain of doing it yourself and do it yourself and build yourself up and have your own name. So it isn't like, oh, famous guy brings along Gabe. I don't want to have to do that. I want to have famous friends that help me. Sure, that's great. But for the long haul, when we're thinking decades in the future, this brand, this company needs to stand on its own. You know what I mean? So that's a big reason not to do it.
The other thing too is he's a publisher, and so are we.
Right.
So it's the services that he offers are what we already know how to do.
Yeah. So I love it. I'm very happy for Eric. I'm proud of him. He's just kicking ass, doing great business, growing, doing it smart. And I'm very happy for him. I remember when the Rippaverse was me and him, Cliff, and Eric Weathers. 4 people. So I'm happy to say I was there at the beginning, but we set that record with $3.6 million. I'm looking to beat that eventually. I will. I'm going to beat that. Friendly competition. No shade, no hate, but I definitely want to beat that.
Right.
So, but no, I think since I am a publisher and this company, as far as I'm concerned, as of this moment, is the rest of my life employment. So I want to grow its brand independently. You know what I mean? And if I have some big successes and their Rippaverse pulled me along, that isn't good for the long term for me. There's nothing wrong with Ripasend and all that. I could work with them. I think they're great. I was the first one offered it, I believe. 2 years ago at Comic-Con, Eric July was at my booth, and he mentioned it to me that he was thinking of doing something like that, and he said he was interested in doing it with me. So I might have been one of the very first people he talked to about it. I think it's great for people like Nerdrotic and Drunk 3PO and all that, because they're not publishers and this and that, and you know what I mean? Like he's a YouTuber. You think he wants to be packing and shipping books and doing all this stuff and dealing with printers and learning about CMYK,
right,
offset printing, and all the stuff that I'm an expert in. I know all this stuff backwards and forwards. So the books you get, these books here, I didn't just write this and draw this cover and color it. I put this into InDesign and actually designed the PDF that goes to the printer, like the cropping and all that and the page layout. We call it pagination and all that. Like, I'm an expert in this stuff. I've been doing this for a quarter century. I worked at 2 newspapers when I was in college, and you have to learn about how printing presses work and all that. So I've been learning about this since the year 2000. So I don't need that kind of help. I'm an expert in it. So again, to build my business where you hear Big Man Comics and you just think the Big Man Comics, that's what I want. Now, the price to pay for that is to go it alone at first. And I'm okay with earning things. You know what I mean? I think if I worked with Ripperson right now, it would microwave it, like, instantly open up to his fan base, blah, 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 like that. But again, that's not long-term for me. That's not a long-term solution. That's a short-term fix that will help me right away. But how does that help me in the future? That's the way I look at it. Could be wrong.
We have a lot more comments that I want to get
Well, let's
to.
get to it. Let's get to the comments.
It's already 12:01. So
Okay, let's get to the speed round. I'll stop drawing. I'll look in the camera. I'll answer questions. We're going to speed round, then we're going to go. Tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific, Apocalypto, one of my favorite movies. Okay, questions. What is it?
Diesel says, hey, how do I get access to Comic-Con? I'm going to message you.
Okay, yeah, message me.
Agent Cub says, I disagree. I think Clip Studio is better.
They're equal. Well, no, Clip Studio, you have to admit this. Their perspective rulers, so complicated. So complicated. Procreates are simple, elegant, and intuitive. Clip Studio's perspective drawing for buildings on it, fucking horrible. They should be in jail for what they did. It's the most. My dad had this analogy when I was a kid. He said, when someone asks you where your ear is, don't do this. Do this. Like Clip Studio's rulers are so dumb and complicated for no good reason. Anyway, so I disagree with you there. I think the drawing engine Clip Studio is probably as good, but here's they're not $9.99. They're $30 a month on the iPad. You can buy it for a one-time fee on the desktop for like $150, which I did, but I don't like the controls, and I'm used to Photoshop, and I try to remap the keyboard to be Photoshop because I have 25 years of muscle memory and what the tools are, and you can't remap it Photoshop to Clip Studio one for one. You can't really do it. It's kind of weird. I don't like it. Also, their selection tools are not as good as Photoshop. Their selection tools for like their Magic Wand, all that, it sucks. No one is better at selecting than Photoshop. Procreate and Clip Studio both suck at selecting things. So crappy rulers than Procreate, and selection sucks too. So I disagree.
Joe's Atmosphere says, I got to figure out how to make my pen that fluid, have to draw really slow to get the lines you're
Okay,
getting.
I will tell you exactly how to do that. Do you have $5? If you have $5, find Clayton Henry. He's a big shot artist from Marvel, DC, everybody. He sells on his Gumroad. I'll open my iPad so you can see what it's called. It's $5. That's the pen I'm using. It's basically the only pen I use. It's hold on.
Oh, let's
Will you turn off my iPad, but not show the background?
Yes, give me 1 second.
I don't want to be punching in code while I'm on. Clayton Henry's Pro Inker pen or whatever. It's $5 on his Gumroad. $5. It's all yours. Keep it forever. $5. Load it into your iPad or whatever. $5. That's it.
I put it. You're off.
And he gives a sketch pencil too in the package, I believe. That's what I paid. Look at right here. See the menu on my screen?
Wait, do I put it back up now?
Put me back up. Do you see the menu on my screen?
Hold on. There we go.
Clayton Henry Ink Bleed. Right there. It's highlighted in blue. That's what the pencil's called. The pen. There's Clayton Henry colored pencil. That's another one great for sketching. But right here, it will give you crisp lines that have stability. Because you know that iPad surface is glass? I buy a screen protector that simulates paper, but it's not that textured like paper. And I cannot. When I first got the iPad like 3 years ago, I found one. And it felt exactly like paper. You could hear it. You could hear that little zip noise. How paper has that tooth, that texture. I can't find any like that. I bought all kinds on Amazon. It doesn't exist anymore. Clayton Henry Ink Bleed, $5 on Gumroad.
And
4 years ago, he may have changed his price, but it was 4 years ago. It was $5 on Gumroad.
And what's the other one? Clayton Henry what?
Color pencil. They come together. It was 4 years ago. They might not come together, but it was a Clayton Henry Ink Bleed on his Gumroad.
Okay, I put it in the chat.
Okay, so that's where you can find that.
Okay, let's
Next
see
question.
what we
Let's
have.
finish this off.
So Joe's Atmosphere is talking about his own book. He says, I know the trend now is bigger graphic novels. I want people to experience my story the way I read Spider-Man as a kid. Gonna do 20-page rags with cliffhanger endings.
Cool.
Joe Watari says, have any details on the meetup?
Yes, Saturday the 26th, 8 p.m. Urban. But the advertisement, some videos, some posts, image posts, links. We're going to have an event right to sign up to get in and all that. All that's going to be going out today or tomorrow. So don't worry. We're not going to leave you guys in the dark.
You can also sign up on the website.
Go to bigmancomics.com, get on the mailing list. We're going to send it out in the mailing list too.
Yeah.
So, and in fact, the mailing list will get the info on the party first.
And then Joe's Atmosphere says, even thinking of doing just above newsprint quality paper on the inside, make it feel old school.
That'd be great. Go with simpler colors if you do newsprint. Go with simpler colors. And you need to learn about ink limits. There's a certain amount of ink that different paper
Right.
can hold, or it's going to get wobbly and weird, the paper, and the colors will get muddy and gray and dark. So study that and like study it till you know, find an expert on what the ink limit is for the paper that you're getting. And any printer worth a damn should tell you, hey, this is not you. You can't use these colors, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, it's much more forgiving nowadays. The printing technology that exists is pretty amazing. But you still need to understand the ink limits for the paper you're using.
All right. And then he also said, thank you so much, Gabe, first time watcher. Thank
All
you.
right. Make sure you're subscribed. We have a great time here.
And then
Content.
last comment is from Tina T. She says, hello, Gabriel Al-Taib and the lovely lady talking. I came over from Matthew Marsden's channel, wanted to stop and give you a like.
Marsden, my British friend.
Yes.
He's doing a little something for Imperium, believe it or not. So,
all right.
okay, guys, 7 p.m. tonight, right back here. Apocalypto, Mel Gibson's masterpiece. Every day here, Monday through Friday, 11 to noon. Hit the like, hit the share. Follow me all over social media. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.